All right, another game with 3Q. This time I actually turned off the stone sounds because some of you find the stone sounds kind of annoying. So I decided to turn off the stone sounds. I actually really like the stone sounds, but if you guys find it annoying, I can turn it off. That is a really weird play. And I'm not sure how to answer this play because I don't really ever see this play. I think I'm going to go this way though. That just seems like the more intuitive response. Actually, it's either this or this. I don't remember. I don't really know which one. That's an interesting play. Definitely a very, very interesting play. I don't want to jump because if he cuts, then I have kind of a problem if I do that. But if I jump down this way, yeah, I played that wrong. I probably should have just blocked that way. Definitely played that one wrong. I actually don't know how to play this one. Okay, that relieves some fears. I've had. So I'm just going to fly up this way. I don't want to give up those two either. But there is like a little bit of a problem here though. We'll see how this goes. This is not a good way for me to start a game. This is just kind of strange. Definitely kind of a strange way for me to start. Let's see what he does if I do this. There's all sorts of problems in this start. It's a strange start. I definitely should have just blocked over there. Coming over here is definitely kind of weird because there are still things over here that I'm kind of concerned with. Oh man, he just wants to play like these Fox players. They want to play like a really, really combative style. They really like to play a super combative style of Go. Which honestly is a crying shame sometimes. Definitely a crying shame. I mean, that's not Sente, so I'm gonna ignore that. I'm not as afraid of this because I can just take the stone. But this is like a really, really strange way to start the game, and it's not one I'm that familiar with. It's also not a great way for him to start the game. Definitely not a great way for him to start the game. Well, it's not great for me either, honestly. Like, it's just a really, really odd way to start like a game. It is just a really odd way for me to start, for either of us to start a game. And when we both have pretty weak, huh? Okay, I miscalculated that one. But I think that's Sente. I'm pretty sure that's Sente for me. Okay. Can't do anything about that, unfortunately. It's perfectly fine. All right.
Yoyomi now starts.
I'm actually, this cutting space is still pretty weak over here. Because there's this move here, which I'm worried about.
9, 8.
There are like certain things that I'm worried about here, definitely. Don't know if I should keep pushing him that way, but I'm going to see what happens here. This is definitely not a mode of play that I'm incredibly familiar with. And honestly, it's not really a mode of, a method, a way of play I'm that comfortable with, unfortunately. But you do what you do. It's fine. You have to play all sorts of stuff on Fox. Play all sorts of stuff. You have to play against all sorts of crap when you play online. Everyone has different styles, and this is actually pretty problematic for me because there's definite problems in here. That's all I'm really gonna say. There's definitely problems within my structure here. Yeah, that was one of them. That's definitely one of them.
9, 8.
See what happens here. think I got him out liberty by a little bit. If he does take that. I figured he'd do that. It's not good for me. Definitely not good for me. So we can just do this for now. It's fine. The reason I did that is like that might be eye space later, and I'm going to deprive him of that eye space. Do I do this? I think I'm going to do this. At this point, I'm not really trying to kill him. I think he might be trying to make eyes here, which is perfectly fine. I think I'm mostly just trying to get bottom territory at this point. Neither of us actually has much territory. Neither of us really has that much territory right now. So right now I'm just trying to screw some territory in using this. Like killing him's not really a thing at this point. That's definitely going to be a problem later, but I'm probably not going to be able to kill him at this point because there's a lot of problems here. I don't think that's really what he wants to do though, because I doubt he can fight with this group. And if he tries, it's really not going to be too successful for him. I think that's fine. I can just take the bottom territory. Oh, he's gonna do that, okay. Huh. Well, that's a problem. I don't really want to fight him on that terms because I'm actually not alive here. If I
9,
connect, he does
8,
that.
7, 6,
You know what? Screw it. We're
5.
just gonna do this.
Yo-yomi now starts.
Definitely not the best play in the world by me. Definitely less than stellar play by me, I have to say. Can't actually do that. Or can I? I want to try it.
9, 8, 7.
I don't know how this actually works out. It might not work out at all. He doesn't have too many liberties, though. Probably ends up being Sente for me, which is okay. Because I get to fix a lot of things if it's actually Sente for me. Now, this is actually super, super big. This is definitely really, really big. Because if he comes out here, I have all sorts of issues. So we're going to just
9,
get rid of this problem
8.
right now. don't know how much territory I can come up with actually. Like this isn't a great game for me because this is like a complete this is just a crazy game. Honestly, it's just like one crazy ass game. If I do this, give him the corner. Just gonna do this first. Of course, he invades. That's the issue with Fox. That's the thing with Fox players. You always get really interesting games. I don't think he actually wanted to do that. There are definite problems with him doing that. Obviously, I'm going to do that first. Because he has to close the top first. And if he does, he probably doesn't have enough liberties to beat me. It's just like one crazy fighting game. It's definitely one crazy ass fighting game. I could actually just go it this way. He has 5, I believe. I think I have more than 5, yeah.
Nine. 8.
This is a pretty crazy fighting game. I don't think I'm going to go for that one. But if I don't need to answer this thing. Because if I do this, he's obviously going to do this, and that's not good. I can just do this. One, two, three, one. Okay, one. If I 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He has 5. So I should be perfectly fine if I do this. There are problems in here, obviously, but this territory is going to be more than anything he has. But that's like the only territory I actually have. That's the problem. I don't think that actually helps him.
Nine. 8.
I don't have enough time for that. Okay. If I do that,
9. 8.
oh wait, I think he's ahead by 1. Oh crap, I messed up. Does that. He is 4. I am 4 as well. If he does that, he is 4. He's 3 actually.
9.
Oh god, I hate that. It's a crazy fighting game. I think I just gave up the corner though is the problem. Definitely just gave up the corner. Oh, geez. This is bad. Actually, no, it's not, because he can't extend down. Oh, no, he can. Because he can just ignore this. Huh. Well, it's quite bad.
8, 7, 6, 5.
I think he actually had a ko here. So yeah. Let's go ahead and live this group. Definitely not the optimal solution for this, but definitely less than optimal solution for this. It is
9,
what it is.
8, 7.
It is what it is, though. It is what it is. Can't really do much about it. Fox players just basically have to like invade everywhere. Like literally everywhere. I feel like the Fox players are always trying to prove something, like they can fight or something, but you don't always have to fight to win, is the thing. Like, I feel like it's just a mistaken notion here at Fox that you absolutely have to fight in order to win. That's not true. I mean, it could just be that they really like fighting, sure, but this is actually really troublesome.
Nine, 8, 7, 6,
This is
5.
actually really, really troublesome for me. I don't know. Like, it's actually quite hard to calculate this, given the short amount of time you have. He has 5 liberties. I don't know if I actually have more. The correct move is to actually do this.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4.
That's not the right move. Um, it's definitely not the right move. That doesn't really shorten my liberties all that much. I'm pretty sure I win this one. The correct move was actually to do that. Yeah, it doesn't help you though. I'm pretty sure he would have won if he actually disconnected, like just cut this. It's like the crazy this crazy fighting game was just that. It was crazy. It's like pretty insane fighting.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5.
Okay, so I think I'm gonna ignore that because he has 3 liberties, and if he does this, then I have 4. If he does this, I do this. If he does this, I just go here, and I'm at least 1 ahead. So we're gonna Atari here. Then we're gonna do this. Connect. And I think he just got owned himself. Got to be careful with this. I think it's co-live. Maybe, I don't know. Might be co-live. I think it is. Yeah, it's co-live. That actually might not be worth it. He has to make a certain move to make sure it's co-live. That probably was not worth it. It destroyed all its points there, but I had to sacrifice quite a bit.
Nine, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Also, this is like
2 Yoyomis left.
Also, this is like excessively big. Down here. So excessively huge. Because if he does this, like, I can't actually capture these 3. I don't. Let me see. Can I ignore him? He can't. No, but he can do this. No, I can't ignore him. I have to take it. Dang it. This game's too close because I screwed up in a lot of places. I'm actually going to ignore that because these 3 aren't worth that much. I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and kill this group. Because if he does this, it's co-live. Now this is dead. This is like, this is an easy mistake. It's a very, very easy mistake that you make because you think that this, I have to connect. I don't have to
9.
connect. I really don't have to connect. I don't have to connect that at all. He should have just blocked, because now I'm going to do this, and now I have all of this. It's irrelevant. He's not going to be able to do anything, because I have this in the mouth. Pretty sure that also doesn't do anything. And even if it does, like, this move would secure me because then this becomes Sente. But regardless, you can't do anything here. I can't kill him here, but this is actually fairly large. Okay, that's actually a problem if he does that. So we're going to just connect this. This game was like way too freaking close. The game was way too freaking close for comfort. It should not have been this close. I don't think there's anything there, no. Just unfamiliar starting. I'm pretty sure I screwed that up. Pretty sure I screwed the start up on this game. Almost certainly. This is also pretty big. That's fine. This move is this move is also really big here. It doesn't really matter right now because I've won, but the thing is like this move down here is really big. That is not, because that's actually not Sente. Yeah, it's a two-way connect, so I'm going to go ahead and make this move. That move's really big. Can't kill him, but it's pretty big. I'd probably head by like 40, 50. Yep, no, 26. Oh, no, 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 no. Oh. Oh, he counts this. No, no, no. 58, I mean. Yeah, that's about right. 58 sounds about right. I was like, wait, how is that only 26? Because I forgot, like, since he made that Atari, I didn't count here. I usually don't use the score estimator unless I know I'm up by like 40 or 50 points. Because otherwise, like, it makes you play differently if you know if you're winning or losing. Here, it doesn't really matter because I knew I was winning by 50. But, yeah, otherwise, it does actually, like, make a difference. So let's analyze this crazy game. It's like, I definitely didn't play well this game because I just wasn't really used to this opening. That I probably should have just ignored. Um, I think like you can go down here, but then he has this move, and if you do this, I think this is definitely better for white, at least in my opinion, maybe. If you do this, I mean, I don't really know what to think about this because this ladder doesn't actually work. So I guess he can do something like this, and then you just kind of have this weird stone here. I don't really like this for either side. I'm not very familiar with I'm not really familiar with this. I'm not really familiar with this move because I hardly ever see it. So he does this. I do that. I didn't really expect the cut. I thought he would go under. So I do this. He comes out. I didn't do this because this cut is kind of hard for me to deal with, at least later on. You can't just go down. So the only thing you could do is do this, and I feel like, I mean, I don't want to split myself up into three groups, right? So that's pretty bad for me. So I think you just have to crawl on the bottom. You can't do that. Like you just have to if you just have to go on this. And if you actually did this again, he would just do this first. So it just feels really bad. So that's why I jumped on the bottom here. Does that? I don't think he should have responded. I don't think he should have responded that way to this. I think there's more important moves like out here, honestly. So I don't know about this move. It might have been right because like I guess I can take away the corner eye space, but I think like this move or this move is just more important. I come out here, and then he does this. Now I am afraid of like I am afraid of like this move because it's kind of difficult. Well, actually, I guess not that difficult. I mean, like there is this move later on, and there obviously like if other things happen here, like he can do this later on as well. Right now, it just wouldn't work. Right now, it probably wouldn't work all that well because it really wouldn't work that well right now because if he does this, I'm just gonna cut, and I don't think he can get out of this. No, he cannot get out of that. So it wouldn't work right now. But later on, like there's problems down there. So I'm kind of afraid of that. He cuts, extends. He does this. He attacks. I go out. He does this. This is just kind of weird for me. I don't really know if he gets the better of this or not. Because I do have some thickness over here. His group here isn't that strong. He does get the corner space, but he does make this really weak. So he does that. I'm going to bump. He does that. I'm going to do this. And then I'm not going to respond. No, I do this. That is not really all that great because it doesn't threaten anything down here. And this cut's not really protected. Because all in all, like realistically, if I get desperate, honestly, I can essentially just sack the bottom and take these two. If I get really, really desperate. Now, I'm not about to do that, but I can sack the bottom and take those two. So it doesn't really protect this cut. I'm going to do that. He does that. Does that. I connect. Does that. I'm going to protect this. He does that. I'm going to come out. This is just... I personally don't think this is a great move. If it were me, I would definitely just come out this way. Sorry, if it were me, I would definitely just if it were me, I would just definitely come out this way. I think keeping the head out and then forcing this group is so much more important. Of course, you're not really going to threaten it because I can just do this at any time. So I don't know. I really don't know about this move. This move actually gives me a lot of options in the corner. So he does that. I'm going to go take just do this first. Obviously, this is his, but then this becomes Sente. Like, this stuff actually, that's probably a bad move. I should have just left it like this. I don't think I can kill him right now, but like later on, there's probably more Aji here. Like, I don't really know how this turns out. I'm not very good at this corner stuff. Obviously, if I do that, it doesn't matter. See, I have 5 liberties. He has 5 liberties. And also, like, he has this tuck home right now. So I actually have to get rid of, I actually made use of that later. So There is Aji here later. Me doing this is probably not a great idea. That clears up a lot of the Aji, but I just left it like this because later on, as you saw, if I do this, there is definitely Aji in here. So I just come up straight. Now, the problem with this is I'm actually kind of afraid of this move. Um, like right now, I'm not because his group here is pretty weak, but it can actually give me quite a few problems if he does stuff like this, which he did later, and it did cause me problems. So this is kind of a weak jump move, but I have to make it right now. I'm going to make it right now just to stay ahead. Then I do this. I'm going to protect this cut. He does this, and I jump out here. My goal is to try to force this group because it's weak and get the bottom territory down here. That's actually my goal. Honestly, I probably should have just done. I most likely should have done this move at this point. I do this. I jump down. He does this. Come over, and I protect this cut. He does that. I jump over. See, I'm still trying to attack this group right here. He does this. I'm definitely going to do that. He does that. Now, this is what I was afraid of here. I think he should have like peeped here, and I think that's a much, much stronger peep than this one. But I'm going to go over. And the thing is, like, I don't have a choice because if I block, I don't think this doesn't really, like, I can't, there's not much I can do if I block here. So, and if I'm disconnected, this group is dead. So because this is on, this is gone. This group is essentially dead. So I don't have a choice. I have to go straight up ahead. I have to go straight up. That really damages this down here, obviously. And I connect back. I do this. I extend out. He connects. I'm gonna go down here because if he does that, I can just wrap around. If he does this, like I can just wrap around when he does that. So it's not that big of a deal here. Does this. I'm doing this just to break his eye space instead of connecting. So he does that. I'm gonna Hane. He does that. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna go down. I definitely should have just kind of like connected down here or something. Yeah, that leaves a 3-3 open, but I'm so much stronger here. So that was a mistake by me, getting too greedy. He does that, and then he extends down, does that. Now, here I probably got too greedy as well. Like, I could have just gone down here. Because at this point, like, he has these 2 stones here, and if he actually takes my corner, then I can live with just getting these 2 as well, because I already got these 2 stones. But I got like, that's another mistake I made. I got way too greedy. Because I wanted the bottom and I wanted to kill this, but I forgot that he has so many forcing moves here that that's not really possible. I was wondering like, what if this happens? Like, I think I win this one. I'm not 100% sure. Definitely not 100% sure. Yeah, I definitely win this one. He doesn't have liberty. He doesn't have enough liberties. He doesn't have enough liberties for this, so I'm able to do that. So he has to connect here, and then of course I connect here. That's Gote for him, but he's still successful in breaking my territory. I'm going to fix this. That's a huge problem there. He's going to come down, and then we fight again. Yeah, this is big, but it's not that big, so I'm going to do this over here. He comes down. I wasn't really expecting this. So I guess like instead of doing this, instead of doing this, I probably should have just done this because then I pretty much solidify all of this. And at this point, like it's not too far off, but I think I'm ahead at this point, just by a little bit. If I estimate, well, okay, I'm actually ahead by quite a lot because he doesn't really have any points. So just by attacking this and getting this much territory, even if I had to sack these 2, black is actually ahead right now. So that's kind of how you make shape. That's how you make shapes in territory while attacking. But this was a crazy game, but I made a mistake there. But then he makes some like pretty big errors here. So the thing is, I probably should have just gone down here. That actually has more liberties. And then maybe just done something like this. Because that ensures I win this fight. So I definitely screwed up on this fight here. Comes down, and then I do this. Now, I'm pretty sure I'm ahead either way. I was thinking about just doing... oops. I was actually thinking about just doing this and coming up this way. I'm pretty sure I'm ahead in liberty. I'm pretty sure I'm actually ahead in liberties here, and that's probably what I should have done as well. But I got stupid and I retreated. So I ended up being like I actually ended up being like one liberty ahead here. So yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm one liberty ahead here, because when I connect on this and he does this, I have 6 liberties. He has 5. It is a little tricky. Sequence is pretty important. I do this. And then he does something actually like this. But let's actually go back to see. Let's actually go back to see on this. So I do this. If he does this, he can't do this. Then you just cut and you're perfectly fine. I think this is. I think this is pretty much. That's actually co. So that's actually a bit of a problem here if he actually does that. Because you can't actually do this, then he takes over, and that's so. The thing is, like, because I played it this way, if he does this, it's actually co, because he can just connect this side. I don't know if there's really any way you can really get. No, I guess it's not co, because I just have one too many liberties. So the sequence, once again, it's very important on this side. It is very important. You don't actually take the co, because if you do, then you lose by 1 liberty if you connect, and if you don't connect, there's a co. So here you don't really take the co, you just kind of like squeeze on the outside, because you don't, and that's because you don't need to squeeze this liberty to win. You can just do this, and then you're 1 liberty ahead. So that's how the sequence on that works. Don't take the co first and just squeeze on the outside. Do not squeeze this liberty in this shape. But either way, he didn't actually do that. He went here, I went here. And then this was actually a really interesting thing, because I really didn't want to do this, because then he obviously does this. I mean, I win this, but then, like, this corner is ruined. But I think that might have actually, and he breaks like a lot of my points here. And plus, like, I still have to answer one here. So I didn't want that result. So I basically did this. Now, I did calculate this out. I do have one more liberty than he does. I have 1, 2, 3, 4. He has 1, 2, 3. Actually, no, I have an extra one here, so I can actually just connect this. And I should have done, I think I missed that I had a liberty there. So I definitely kind of missed that on this fight. Well, actually, no, he broke there, so I had to do this. I had to do that. Then he comes down. And some of you are like, why don't you just, he does that. And I don't know why I didn't do this. I mean, this was definitely the obvious move, because this was already in, no, actually, no, this was not in the mouth. There's still a liberty here, so that's why I didn't do this. So the thing is, if I do this, he can just do this. And that would be very problematic for me, because he just killed these 3. And yes, I could take these, but then he basically steals all my corner points. And I guess I can do this and get this as well. So I would get this and this bit, but he would take all my corner points. And I didn't really want to make that trade. I think at this point I'm pretty much still winning, because he has no points himself, and this is a decent amount of points. But I didn't really want to do that, because that does give away all my corner points. So I was greedy. I was definitely greedy here. So I did this, and he does this. Now, realistically, I should have probably just gone down, because if I go elsewhere, let's say here, I don't actually get the corner, and he actually has that. So I don't actually have that many points on the corner. So I should have just definitely gone down right away. But I couldn't, because I guess I needed to. I didn't necessarily need. Well, actually, I did need to do that, because I needed to make this group alive, essentially, first. So I should have done this as soon as possible after I did this. I couldn't let him get this move. So he does this. I do this. He does this. By the way, is like, you can just kind of like take this right now, because this is actually Sente. So I would have just taken those right now. He eventually did get that, but I think he forgot about the block. So he does this. I'm going to connect down here. I didn't really expect that either. I mean, I'm still kind of ahead at this point, I think. Although not really that much ahead if he actually does this. Like if you just do this, if you just do this and then you do this, you use the estimator. Yeah, like white's actually no, like I would still be ahead because it counted this wrong. It counted this wrong. I have 5 liberties. He has 4. I don't really know why he thinks. I don't know why they think that this. I don't know why they think I'm dead and he's alive because I have one more liberty than he does. So the Fox estimator actually sucks. Um, yeah, the Fox estimator actually sucks because he doesn't actually beat me here. So like I'm actually only a little bit ahead. This is definitely more than a swap of 20 points. If you look at the estimator, it's black plus 12. So I'm still ahead, obviously, at this point, if he does that. So he does this. I do this. He does this. I definitely think I made a mistake here as well. Um, and I just basically do that. He does that. I block here. He does that. So the move to do here is this. And then I would actually do this. And I think this actually favors. I think I'm actually dead here. Um, Actually, no, you can't do that. You have to do this. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm one ahead here as well. So I did. I mean, I did calculate this right. I did actually calculate this right. One ahead here as well. So that's actually where like this invasion is bad. You do have to actually calculate this out. I was pretty sure I was like 1 or 2 ahead, but I wasn't like 100% sure because like he obviously has to do this and to prevent me from like being alive, and that frees me up 1 liberty to actually just like be 1 ahead of him. So this was a bad invasion. I mean, there was really no need to do this in like there was really no need to actually do this invasion. I mean, like, yeah, he is behind right now, but there's other places where he can actually make it up. But this invasion, I don't know. I don't agree with this invasion. I really just don't agree with this invasion at all. Um, and honestly, like, I don't know. What about this? One, two, yeah, I'm still ahead, obviously. I'm still ahead. But I don't know, like, this invasion just makes me win even more, and I don't think like this invasion really had that much hope. Because this is like if you do this, this is an obvious move. It's a very obvious move. If you do this, I can just come down like this, so I don't have to block you the first time. So I don't think this invasion really had all that much muster. So this was kind of unreasonable to invade here. Instead of invading here, instead of evading here, you might just like do a shoulder hit or something to reduce my territory. Yeah, I am ahead. It's not white plus 3. I don't really know why he thinks that that this is not dead because this is obvious. I have 5 liberties. He has 4, and he can't actually do anything. So I feel like yeah, like the estimator is definitely counting this wrong. Unless there's like some weird method that I don't know about that lets you kill these 5 stones. I'm pretty sure these 5 stones beat the 4. I know he's counting this. I know he's counting this, but I can just come down and split the 2. And since this is like a hard leg, it essentially kills those stones. So the estimator is definitely wrong here. So he does this invasion. He does this invasion. And then he does that. Obviously, like, I just have more liberties here. So he is going to die. And I just kind of ignore him at this point and start attacking this group. Because I have at least 2 more liberties. I basically calculate if he Atari's here, I connect. I have 4, he still has 3, so I'm 1 ahead. So I do this, I do this. He goes here. And the reason I actually did this move was actually to solidify this leg over here. Because once I solidify this leg, this is now like Sente, he can't block, so this group actually becomes in really big danger. I think I also played that group wrong, but either way. This, I do this, he does that. You gotta shrink the amount of eyes he actually has. This is actually co-live. If he actually plays here, this is co-live. I break his points in here, but I can't go either way, and he can't go either way. So this is actually co-live. But I don't think he realizes that. Like these are definitely shapes that you actually have to realize. He does that. I come here, and the correct play is obviously to do this, and then I would probably go down here. I would actually be ahead by a good amount. I would actually be pretty ahead by a good amount. See, this is where the score estimator sucks, because these aren't dead either. This is at most co-live. So like the score estimator is wrong here and here. So don't always trust the Fox score estimator. It kind of sucks, honestly. So that's actually what I would do. But he doesn't actually see that. He does this. I do this, and then he does this. I split. I think there's a score estimator. Yeah, now the score estimator doesn't know which one's alive. But see this. But here's the thing. Like, I just take it now, and now it knows that that's dead. He does this. I basically just kill this. And this is the big mistake. He actually made a big mistake here because I don't need to answer this. So I just go ahead and kill this group. Yeah, so I just completely go ahead and kill this group. Because now he doesn't really have any way to deal with this. This is just dead now. Whereas if he did this, is actually co-live. Then he does that. I do that. That's obviously a wrong move. That gives up Sente. This is the correct move. I would have to connect. Otherwise, if I don't connect, I do this. You can just take it over, right? So that's definitely a bad move, just taking it. You have to recognize that shape. And then I should have went down, but it doesn't really matter all that much. I may make sure that he can't connect this home because of that sequence I just showed you guys earlier. Once again, if you didn't know the sequence, it's this. And he would actually be able to get the corner, right? So I have to prevent them from getting that by doing that. And of course, I just do that. Obviously, like that's not the move to do here. The move to do here is this, and just let me block. That's really the only thing you can do. That's useless. And also, not in this specific shape because you can go up here, but most of the time, I would say most of the time, not in this specific shape right now, but most of the time, this is actually Sente, because most of the time, like right now, you wouldn't have two eyes, but this is actually dead. So that usually is Sente. Right now, it wouldn't be Sente, because if you did this, I would just come up. You do this. I'm just gonna take this, and you still only have one eye here. So obviously, right now it doesn't work, but most of the times that is actually Sente. So I just connect. He does that. Connects here. I'm going to connect here, obviously. And even if I don't connect there, that's actually not a problem because you remember, like when he Ataris, you don't have to connect. You can just do this. And he takes, and then you connect, and you're still fine. So there's actually not a problem there. I just didn't want to give up the 2 stones. So I did that. Does this. Now these are just ending moves. So we just play these ending moves out. I'm up by 60 points. But unfortunately, obviously I just take, he just takes, do this. Unfortunately, I didn't actually see him make that move. So I was just waiting for him to make that move. So I eventually just lost on time because I just sat here and didn't play. I legit just sat here and didn't play. So yeah, I obviously would have done this, but I legit just sat here and didn't play for 3 minutes and I lost on time because since I turned off the clicking sound, I couldn't actually tell that he actually made a move. But that was the review of the game. There was a lot of good stuff going on in this game, like a lot of closing moves like this that you can learn, a lot of shapes like this that you can learn that if you do this, it's co-live. But if you do this, it's co-live. But if you let someone curl down, it's dead. Like some of the fighting sequences here and there. and how important the sequences are, and like a lot of my messed up invasion sequences. So hopefully you learned something from this game. Like and subscribe. So this game, like black actually wins by about 60 points. I just didn't see that he actually made a move here, and because of the sound, like I eventually lost on time because I just waited. But this is a game of beating a fox 1Q. If you can play like this, you can if you play like this, you can at least achieve Dan level on fox, and I think that's probably around AGA like 3Q or something like that. So work on the game like that. If you haven't beaten a 1Q on fox, they do make a lot of mistakes, and the thing is, like, their fighting sequences just their reading fighting sequences generally aren't that great on fox at 1Q, and they don't quite understand like what's like sente here and what's not. So getting the sentes, like fighting with direction, knowing how to sacrifice things, like sacrificing like all these points in here just to get the bottom, and knowing like correct fighting sequences. Like I completely did like wrong fighting sequences here, and knowing like how to actually get those 3 stones back and how to make this group co-live. A lot of important lessons here, like a lot of closing moves, a lot of sentes, a lot of directional fighting moves. Hopefully you learned something. Like and subscribe, hit that bell notifications button, and I will see you guys next time.